Today we're doing the lesson for 9.2, multiplying polynomials. So we're going to be simplifying using distribution. So if I give you an example with a monomial multiplied by, in this case, a trinomial, you have to take the 6 and distribute it to all three parts inside. So 6 times 4x squared is 24x squared. Then you take the 6 and multiply it by the 2x, we get 12x, and the 6 times negative 5, and we get negative 30. For your final answer, you have to make sure that it is in standard form, which means that the highest exponent of x goes first, then the lowest exponent of x, and followed by the number with no variable always being put at the end. Next example, we take the negative 3, we have to distribute it to all four parts inside. So negative 3 times 2x to the fifth is negative 6x to the fifth. Negative 3 times negative 8x to the 4 is 24x to the 4. Negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. And negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Check that it's in standard form, so x to the 5, x to the 4, x to the 1, so that's all good, and the 3 goes at the back because it's just a regular number by itself. These are a little bit more complicated, where you have to distribute whenever you can. So this negative 2 has to be distributed into the trinomial, and then you're going to be adding like terms when you're done. Now, because there's nothing to do in this first part, it just carries down as normal. Now we're ready to distribute. So the negative 2 times 5x squared is negative 10x squared. Negative 2 times negative 6x is positive 12x, and the negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14. Once we've done that, we're now ready to combine all of our like terms. If you do it in standard form right away, you don't have to worry about doing another step of doing that later. X to the power of 3 is the highest exponent, so it goes first. There is no other x3s, so it just carries down as negative 2x to the power of 3. X2 would go next. This is the only one here, so it's going to carry down. Then come the x's. There are two, so positive 5x plus 12x is plus 17x. And then the numbers go at the end. Negative 9 minus 14 is negative 23. It's already in standard form, so this is your final answer. Next question, we now have two different parts that need to be distributed. So I'm going to take the 6 distributed into the first trinomial, and I get negative 6x squared plus 12x minus 48. Now I take the 2, I distribute it into this trinomial, I get plus 8x squared minus 12x plus 4. I now add my like terms, so negative 6x squared plus 8x squared is 2x squared. 12x minus 12x cancel each other out so there's nothing, and then negative 48 plus 4 is negative 44. That is your final answer. As a quick review, if I give you these two monomials being multiplied together, you multiply the 5 and the negative 2, and because the bases are the same, you add your exponents. So I get negative 10 x to the power of 12. The reason why we did that review is because now we're going to be using distribution where we're having powers being distributed into polynomials. So when I've got 6x to the power of 4 times 5x to the power of 3, I multiply my coefficients and I add my exponents. So 6 times 5 is 30, and 2 plus 3 is 5. To give me 30x to the power of 5. Now 6 times 2 is 12, and power of 2 plus power of 2 is power of 4. So 12x to the 4. 6 times negative 1, remember there's an invisible 1 there as your coefficient, so I've got negative 6 x to the power of 3, and 6 times 4 is 24, and the x squared just carries through. It is in standard form, meaning highest exponent of x to the lowest exponent of x, so that is complete. Next example, same thing. I take the negative 2x to the power of 4, multiply it in, so I've got negative 24 x to the power of 7. Then the negative 2 x to the 4 goes to the second part, and I get positive 8x to the 6. Then to the negative x, I get positive 2x to the power of 5. And then to the last one, I get negative 4x to the power of 4. It's in standard form, so I am done. Same process here, just a little bit more complicated because I've got x's and y's, but the process is the same. So 5 times 2 is 10, and then for the x's, 3 plus 4 is 7, and the y's, 5 plus 2 is 7 as well. 5 times 5 is 25, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 5 plus 3 is 8. And then 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 4 is 9. And because we're dealing with alphabetical order, x's go first, highest exponent of x goes first, and then the lowest exponent carries through to the end. So this is standard form. Now we're going to do some distribution with adding like terms. So I take the first one, I distribute it in. I get 27x to the power of 6 minus 15x to the 5 plus 6x to the 4. I then take this second one, distribute it in. I get negative 6x to the 6 minus 14x to the 5 minus 2x to the 4. I add like terms, so 27x to the 6 minus 6x to the 6 is 21x to the 6. Negative 15x to the 5 minus 14x to the 5 is negative 29x to the 5. And 6x to the 4 minus 2x to the 4 is plus 4x to the 4. Check the standard form. 6, 5, 4. Yep, that looks good. And last example for today. Again, I'm distributing. So the first negative 5x y times 3x squared. And then distribute to the rest, I get negative 15x cubed y plus 10x squared y squared minus 30xy cubed. I take the negative 2xy, I distribute it in, and I get negative 8x cubed y plus 4x squared y squared plus 2xy cubed. I now add like terms. Highest exponent of x goes first, so the x cubed y need to be combined. So negative 15 minus 8 gives me negative 23 x cubed y. The x squared y squareds go next, so 10 of them plus 4 of them is plus 14 x squared y squared. And then negative 30 xy cubed plus 2 xy cubed gives me minus 28 xy cubed. Highest exponent of x to the lowest, so x cubed, x squared, x to the power of 1, so that is in standard form. So we're going to be doing a worksheet 9.2, numbers 1 through 20. Thank you for being in my class today.